If you're looking for a quick boost of confidence, here's something that I've found works really well, and it applies to any situation. So whatever reason you want to have more confidence, this is relevant. So for example, you may have an interview coming up, or maybe a meeting that is important, or you've been asked to give a presentation, or something perhaps outside of the work environment. Maybe you've got a date that's really important that's coming up for you. Now, this suggestion I'm giving you is based on the fact that you can only feel a lack of confidence when you're thinking about yourself. That's true for me, it's true for you, it's true for everybody. Now that means that if we shift our attention to something other than ourselves, then we're not going to be feeling that lack of confidence. Now let me show you what I mean. Here's an example. One of the first times I saw this clearly was when I was working as a trainer in London, and I had a group of people with me learning a particular topic, and I wasn't that familiar with the topic. I'd only learned it quite recently myself, and I was into the session and it was going well, and then suddenly I started thinking about myself. I started thinking, how am I doing? Am I making sense? Have I remembered to tell them this? Have I remembered to cover that? And as soon as my attention shifted onto myself, I began to feel more uncomfortable, anxious, and also my thinking got more confused. I wasn't so clear thinking. I was a bit more muddled. And it was only when I put my attention back onto the people in the room, the people who were there to learn from me, that then dissolved, and I was able to regain my connection with them and my clarity of thinking, and also the feeling of being more confident. So it's a simple shift of attention. We're not talking about trying to think different thoughts. That's positive thinking. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just the shifting of our attention onto something or someone other than ourselves, and then see what arises, see what difference it makes. And here's another example. This is something I noticed when I was helping on a presentation skills course, again quite a while ago, but it made a big impact because in that course, on the first day, each delegate was asked to give a presentation about their role in their work. And this particular lady did that, and she was very nervous. You could see that she was becoming embarrassed. She was colouring up. She got a bit confused about certain elements of her presentation. She repeated herself a bit and so on, and clearly was uncomfortable, and everybody else in the room could feel that for her. You know, it was a bit of a tough thing to watch. However, later in that same day, the same lady was asked to give a second presentation, this time about a topic that she really loved, something that was outside of work, and she chose a hobby. It was a hobby that clearly she'd been involved with for a long time. She really enjoyed it, and the presentation was very, very different. She was energized, she was engaging, she was clear, she was enthusiastic, because her attention now wasn't on herself and how well she was doing and what impression she was making on the group. It was actually focusing on the topic which she loved, and it made all the difference, that shift of attention. So really what we could say in conclusion is that when you shift your attention away from yourself, that lack of confidence, those uncomfortable feelings, they can't breed, because they only feed on when we're thinking about ourselves. That's just the way the human mind works. We feel what we're thinking. If we're thinking lots of thoughts of self-doubt and self-consciousness, we're going to feel it. But if we put our attention somewhere else, then that will be dissolved. We won't feel those feelings. We don't feel those feelings of self-doubt, and our natural confidence rises to the surface, and then we can proceed from there. So go and give it a try and let me know how you get on.